Congratulations on finishing your course. That was some hard work. Now what do I do with it? Is there anyone that will house my course and help me sell it? What if I can get an entire team to help me sell my course that I worked so hard on? Have I got a discovery for you? The Great Discovery not only has a place for your course, but a network of affiliates that are eager to sell your hard-earned course creation. Want to make a little more money so you can build your course or invest in yourself? Opportunities for all this and more await you at The Great Discovery, or go to tuepodcast.net/discovery for more information. Once again, that's tuepodcast.net/discovery for more information about how to join The Great Discovery now. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production.
I think a big part is something all of us humans experience is the fear of what could happen. Could I fail? Or could I be successful? And then I won't know how to keep going. I think it's a big part is the fear of the unknown.
Are you ready to unlock your entrepreneur potential? Are you ready to break free from all the barriers holding you back? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, your first step in getting across the start line. I'm your host and guide, Skoop, and I'm here with one mission: to help you overcome the obstacles standing between you and the start of your adventure. Whether you're dreaming of launching a startup, creating the next big app, or turning your passion into a thriving business, this podcast is your launchpad. Together we'll navigate the challenges, overcome hidden boundaries that stop us from starting, and learn how to overcome them with the help of others and experience them right along with you. So are you ready to take that crucial step to transform from aspiring to inspiring? Then let's get across that start line together, right here, right now, on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. Hello, Skoop believers, and welcome to episode number 82 of the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. And it's me, Skoop, coming to you to whatever device you happen to be listening on. Okay, so today's episode is with somebody that I think has just a great energy, and I love what she does. And we're talking to Brianne. Now, Brianne actually owns two businesses, a consulting business and Attainable Vision, LLC. This one actually helps support new entrepreneurs and helping them build their business, which I think is kind of important because that's what I try to do too. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the fear of the unknown, discovering how successful entrepreneurs confront and overcome paralyzing fear and uncertainty in future business, the surprising truth about fear of success, and uncover why some aspiring business owners are frequently afraid of achieving their goals. And we're going to navigate the winds of change and explore the transformational power of entrepreneurship and how we turn our fear into the fuel for growth. So today we're going to talk to Brianne. Let's take a listen. Salutations, Skoop believers, and we are here again with another amazing entrepreneur. Today we're here with Brie. Hi, Brie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Skoop?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. I really super appreciate you taking the time out of your day today.
It's no problem at all. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So I do have one kind of semi-serious question to ask you right away, okay? All right, here we go. Are you ready? All right. Are you a Skoop believer?
I am, yes.
All right. Thanks, Brie. Thank you so much for being a Skoop believer. I really appreciate you. All right. So what I'd like to do here at the very beginning is get a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you got across the start line in your entrepreneur adventure.
Okay. Who I am. I don't talk a whole lot about me. How did I get started? It started in college when I had a mentor who had his own business, and I thought that was awesome. And he was a counselor. And I was also training to learn psychology and counseling and all of that. And it inspired me to start my own business someday. Of course, I had to get all the certifications and licensures and training and all of that. So I had to finish that first. And then I had to work for others. And eventually, after getting my license, I was able to start my own business. And so I've had to take a crash course in business because it's not like the counseling degrees train you in business at all. So I was following podcasts like this one
Ah,
and other like YouTube videos and doing lots of research and learning from other entrepreneurs. So that's how I got started in my first business.
okay. In your first business. So you have a second business then.
I do.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So the first one I just talked about is Shekinah Counseling and Consulting LLC. This second business is Attainable Vision LLC. So I launched that kind of similar to what you're doing, supporting entrepreneurs, helping them get going and build their businesses. I have a business partner too who also offers business assessments and has been working in the field for a very long time in business consulting. So, together, any difficulties I have with the business side, he's able to fill in because I'm more counselor like, but I have experience in that I've built my own businesses. So, anyway, that's a little bit about that second business.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you started like I did as far as that goes, just following other podcasts and listening to books and things of that nature. I mean, I would be nowhere that I would be today if I wasn't doing that.
I hear that. Yeah, I think we can learn so much from other business owners who have gone before us.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any particular people you like to listen to or book that you could maybe suggest?
Yes, this was for private practice, but the private practice startup was a big part of how I learned how to get my business started in private practice. And there's another one that helped with the coaching business. What is her name? I'll have to look it up. But there was another.
We'll have that book in the show notes, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know we can find that later. Yeah, let's see. The Coaching Habit was probably the one book that really helped me along in doing my coaching, what I do.
Oh, okay.
And that was really big for me too. And then the one book, I'm sorry, I've said this book so many times in my podcast. People are probably tired of hearing it by now, but The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks was a book that changed my life. So whenever I talk about books, that's one that's definitely on the top of the list for me.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to look them up.
So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It seems to me like you went through a lot of college for the first one, that thing, and the second one you just did it on your own. Which one do you think was easier for you?
Probably the first one because there is so much guidance from other private practice entrepreneurs on how to get started. I didn't realize it existed until I started Googling and learning from other entrepreneurs, other private practice owners. Networking was huge. That's another part. Networking, oh my goodness, that really helped my first business. The second business in coaching, I'm learning is very different than private practice. Marketing it is so different. It's kind of trial by fire for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to hire my own coach to understand a little better the ropes of business coaching and marketing and that type of thing. So I'm in the process of learning right now and testing, then looking, analyzing what is working and what isn't working. So I'm in the middle of those starting and growing pains in the moment.
Yeah, it's never a straight line, too. It's kind of like it's a line that's a squiggly all over the place, and there's a squiggly going the other way, and then it's a line to to the end of where we need to go. It's never a straight line.
Yes.
Networking is a big part of no matter what you're doing, whether it's what you're doing now or whether it's consulting or anything. Getting together with the right people and being around the people that will support you or even in the same kind of boat as you are is such a great, great way to learn.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree. And actually, that's another piece of what's been happening since I'm learning as I go. I've been meeting so many awesome people like you on this journey. People I probably would have never run into if I hadn't pushed myself out there because I am an introvert. So I've really had to push myself.
That could be exhausting too, especially as an introvert to get out there and to other people and show your face to other people. I know the guy that I follow, his name's Pat Flynn. He's a total introvert. And like he always talks about how he'll go to these conventions and everything, and then after it's all over, he'll go into his room and hide and try to recover from everything. So I understand where now I'm a total extrovert, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, yeah.
I like to get out there. I like to show my face. I like to be around people, but ultimately ultimately networking, being out there, confronting people, shaking hands virtually or realistically is one of the best things you could do for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think it is one of the best marketing tools, networking.
All right. What we talk about in my podcast is getting across the start line, if you couldn't tell already. So what do you think, as an experienced and an inexperienced, it's interesting to have both, entrepreneur, it stops people from getting across the start line?
What hinders them typically? Is that what you asked?
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part is something all of us humans experience is the fear of what could happen. Could I fail? Or could I be successful? And then I won't know how to keep going. I think it's a big part is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, fear of success. That's weird to hear that. But some people, they're like, okay, I succeed, but then what happens after that? Do I actually want to succeed? Because it's going to change everything that I do. And a lot of the times we fear change.
Yes, that's a big part of it too. And not knowing where to start, I think is another part, which actually I'm launching a new webinar series for business owners on how to get started.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Yeah, it's going to be on August 9th. We're starting at, I think it was 3. I'm still marketing it. And so we're going to support business owners in all kinds of ways. You could join if you're established or if you're just starting. And I'm still writing it, so I'm open to suggestions on what people want covered. I have noticed that like building the email list is something that people really want to learn right now. So I do have a couple of videos about that. Those are on my Substack blog. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions. Please let me know what you want anybody wants to talk about with business.
Do you have a link that we can go to and maybe sign up to go to that?
Yes, I haven't memorized it yet. Hold on.
That's okay.
I just created it the other day.
Just in time then.
Right? So that would be at www.attainablevision.courses/business workshop. And I can send you the actual link.
Yeah, send me the actual link because I'm going to put it into the show notes. I'm going to try to, if August 9th has passed, let me know if and when you have another one so we can get that hooked up into the show notes.
Sure. Yeah. I hear you. That's pretty soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, as of this recording, we're like late July, so August 9th is coming up here pretty quick. So
yeah,
if we don't make it for that one, we'll catch the next one for sure.
Oh, and one thing they could join at any time are my Business for Nerds community calls. I'm having those every Friday at sometimes 1:30, sometimes at 3. You just join my Facebook group, Attainable Vision for Business, to learn more about that. So I'm going to have ongoing. So every other Friday, that's going to be going on.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely put that on there. Okay, back to what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So fear of failure, those are two of the biggest things those are actually two of the 4 pillars that I talk about in my podcast about the 4 pillars of stop. And that's fear, failure, imposter syndrome, and perfection. And those seems to be, in the whole 3 years that I've been doing this, those 4 things seem to be the things that most people talk about stopping them from getting across the start line. Fear is always a big thing. It's always been a big thing for me. We all fear the unknown. We fear failure. That's why failure is part of one of the pillars too. Do you know what the acronym for fear is by chance?
The acronym for fear?
Yes.
Probably, but it probably flew out of my brain. I'm neurodiverse. So.
That's okay. That happens. False evidence appearing real.
Oh, yes. I have heard that. Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time. When I first started sales, I was actually a car salesman. I was a car salesman for 16 years. And my sales manager introduced me to that acronym. And
Right.
it hit me so hard because it's really true. The things that we fear in our heads are just feelings, they're emotions. They're not a saber-toothed tiger that's going to bite us, right? Take it as a grain of salt, but I always use fear as maybe a guide. Because if I fear it, I think I should do it to not just overcome the fear, but learn from what the experiences I have from overcoming that fear.
Yes. Yes, to use it as a guide, like maybe I should try that thing. Yep. I felt
Yeah.
a lot of fear with starting my podcast, and I did it afraid.
I think we all do it a friend at one point. So now you have a podcast too. There's all kinds of things you got going on here. Tell me about I know we keep going off subject, but there's just too much good
No.
stuff. Too much good stuff. Tell me about your podcast.
My coach says that I probably do a little too much, but anyway,
That's why we're
Dr.
podcasters.
Shiny object syndrome I've got. Anyway, Dr. Willie's Business for Nerds is the name of my podcast, and I talk about all types of business topics. So I record my own videos and I interview other entrepreneurs on how they're building their businesses, what they do, and that type of thing. So I really love my podcast. I mean, I love doing it. I love meeting people and I love sharing what I know. I get that I don't know everything, certainly not, but I know some and I want to share that.
There's always somebody a little bit behind us that wants to learn what we know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
as long as that keeps happening, we got something to talk about.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. My next question was going to be, was it the same for you? Was the fear of failure with the thing that was stopping you from moving forward, or was it something else?
Not really. The fear of failure with different parts of my business. The actual starting it was not too difficult because the logistics of it, it was like, I've been wanting this for so long. I'm excited. So I started it. But the getting out there and networking,
Mm,
that was scary. The not knowing how to credential with insurance companies, that was scary. What else? Accepting payment. How do you do that? That was
yeah.
scary. Like all the different parts of it. The actual starting was easy, but the parts of business were so difficult.
Sometimes it's not so much the start of the business, but it's starting something new and different. Even if we're like almost all the way through our entrepreneur adventure or halfway through, or whatever the case might be, starting something new and different can also be getting across the start line, which we come across those different types of fears and those kinds of things.
Yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't really just starting it. It was, yeah, the different parts that I didn't know how to do. So, getting past those starting lines. There's so many
Exactly.
starting lines in
There's a lot of
business.
starting lines, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you're just getting started, we're going to talk about your first business for a minute. What was the hardest pitfall you had to overcome in your experience?
Hardest pitfall. Oh, there were so many. And I'm one of those people that once I get through something difficult, I try to block it a little bit. What was the most difficult pitfall? I think networking, pushing myself out of my introverted self, meeting people at coffee shops when I didn't know what was going to happen, the ebb and flow of private practice. That was really scary because it's not like you get a consistent paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be terrifying at times. Things like that. And you asked what were the major pitfalls? Just making sure I'm on track.
Yeah. You're going the right way there, Brie. You're okay.
Again, neurodiverse, I go on tangents. So
It's okay.
yeah. So figuring out income. Oh, electronic health records. Oh my goodness. Navigating those. So there are so many, and each one provides like a different type of help for different entrepreneurs who are in private practice. And I had to try a number of them to see what worked for me. And my business was a little complicated because I had two EINs for a while. So that was interesting to navigate, and clearinghouses. Other private practice owners will know what I'm talking about, that these EHRs are just, they're great, but which one works for me can be difficult to figure out. I have a great one now that I love. So now I'm good, but in the beginning, that was tough.
Yeah, finding the right programs or finding the right ways to navigate through what you're trying to accomplish can be difficult. We also talk about getting out of our comfort zone. We can't expect to move anywhere or do anything with our businesses if we don't get out of that comfort zone and try something new, try something different. And
Mm,
I know for a fact from all my introvert friends that getting out of that comfort zone to get out there is super, super difficult.
it is. Yeah. The fear it can freeze us. So we don't try, and overcoming that, taking one small step forward can help.
And that's what it means to get across the start line, just taking that one step forward. I love it.
Hmm.
That's awesome. On a different kind of note, do you have a pitfall or problem that you're most proud of? In other words, I'm glad I had this pitfall because I learned this from it. Have you had anything like that happen to you?
I'm sure I have. So, therapists and helpers and other like nurses, doctors, a lot of us eventually may struggle with what's called compassion fatigue. I don't know if you know what that is. Have you ever heard that term? Or burnout is another word.
Definitely burnout. Yes.
Yeah. I have struggled with that in the past, especially during 2020. And I think a lot of us were struggling with that. Many of us came together and talked about it and supported each other. But prior to that, I think a lot of us felt stuck. And I was stuck for a while. I did seek my own support, consultation, my own therapy, and I was able to get through it. I think a lot of us, we identify that it's something probably pretty much all of us helpers face at some point, and we need to navigate it. So that's something that is a big focus of my podcast and a lot of my writings are how to help people through compassion fatigue and burnout to keep doing the work. So I was able to turn that struggle into, I actually studied it for my dissertation, for my doctorate, and now I'm sharing that data and I'm going over that a lot in my workshops and things like that. And I think I can translate it to other types of business because I think many of us struggle with burnout at some point in various ways. It may be unique, it is unique to each person, but I think a lot of what we learned can apply to various scenarios. But yeah, that's a big part of my own pitfall. I learned from it, and now I'm helping others to stay in the field and keep going. There is a way with better boundaries, with support, with again, community and peer support is a big thing. And that connects with networking too. So I think one of the biggest things is let's not be alone through it. You can't be alone.
Yeah, 100%. Find a community that will help you, that will listen to you, that will talk to you, that get you through those rough parts. And we are the combination of the five people we hang around most. So make sure that we choose those five people very carefully, because those are going to be the people that support you, that pick you up when you've fallen down or push you along when things are going rough. And burnout is definitely real. I've actually, in my interviews, I had interviewed one gentleman. His name was Cliff Ravenscraft, and he's a big coach. I would look him up if you haven't heard of him before.
Yeah.
But he was a podcaster as well too, and he went through a 24-hour podcasting thing where he was on the air for 24 hours.
Whoa.
On top of everything else was going on, when he got off the 24 hours, he had a huge pain in his back, and he found out that he had gallstones, and that were really bad. So his burnout actually came out physically.
Oh, wow.
And he had to go through surgeries and all that stuff to make sure. And he pulled out of it fine, but he's a better person about it now. Now he keeps those boundaries up, and he rests when he needs to rest and that kind of thing too. I suffer from superhero syndrome. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not.
Something like it.
Something like that, where I just got to help out everybody. But the thing I've noticed is who helps the superhero when he has a rough time. So I've learned that as much as I want to help everybody as possible, I got to help myself along the way too.
Yes.
So keep full rest, keep my boundaries high and that kind of thing too. So I could still go help be the superhero and help people. So
Yes. Yeah. Self-care. I know a lot of people, especially therapists, they hear the word self-care a lot, but I think it's unique to each person. self-care. That's boundaries. That's if you love going to the beach, maybe sometimes it's doing that. There's all kinds of ways to add we take care of ourselves better.
Yeah, 100%. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have two businesses, so I'm going to ask for this answer twice. What is your favorite accomplishment that you've had? Let's start with the first business. What is your best accomplishments you've had so far?
I think it's not just one. It's amazing seeing people heal from trauma. I trained in eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And when I learned that therapy technique, people were healing a lot, not quicker, but maybe quicker, but it just really helped people. And it's amazing to be part of that. It draws out a person's strengths that are from within. It helps them to see their strengths, but also helps them heal from where they've been injured. Working with them is amazing.
It definitely gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling in your chest when you have somebody that comes through and actually and heals from whatever it is that they might be going through. And to know that you were a part of that to make somebody else's life so much better. It really makes you feel better.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like it's a tool that's helped me help people better. So I'm glad I learned it.
All right. And how about the newest business? Any good accomplishments you want to talk about there?
Accomplishments. That one's still fairly new. Learning things I had no idea how to do, podcasting and recording myself and being okay with releasing that on the internet as an introvert, editing, learning how to create music in a system where I'm old school. I'm a musician too, just for fun. But I didn't know how to do that online or in a program, and I learned how to do that. So things like that, like learning things I had no idea I was capable of.
Nice. That's good. That's good stuff. I know it's new, so I'm not going to get too deep into it, but yeah, especially when you're first getting started with podcasting and everything else, it's so exciting. It's so
Mm-hmm.
exciting to get out there and say, hey, there's something out in the airwaves that are going to be out there and people are going to be able to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, it's exhilarating and terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At the same time, oh, they're listening to me. I hope I did okay. Did I sound okay? I hate the sound of my own voice. That's the one thing I had to go over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So, since most of my, or pretty much everybody on my podcast that's listening right now are new entrepreneurs, what advice would you give a new entrepreneur that's just getting started?
That it's normal to face difficulties, to face walls and things you're not sure how to get past. And I think reaching out to other entrepreneurs and getting some guidance or just venting is so important. Don't give up.
Those are my three favorite words. I got to tell you, don't give up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be rough. There's going to be times where it's going to feel terrible, where you're like, why am I even doing this at this point? But don't give up. That's just part of the process. Sometimes I even get happy when I feel like that because, okay, I'm moving forward because this is part of the process. So
Yeah.
in a weird kind of roundabout way, it's a positive thing, even though it feels negative at the time.
Yeah, you're about to reach a new level.
And keep digging.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep
Yep.
digging. Because you never
Yep.
know, that next shovel of dirt can break right into that gold vein, right?
Yes. Very cool. I like that.
All right. So what I like to do with all my guests is get a 6-month goal for your current business. So where
Mm.
do you see you and your company in the next 6 months?
Let's see. Having built some more courses, getting those out to more people. Our main goal is to help businesses grow in a way that they can eventually gain a profit. So getting that out that it is possible and we want to help people with that. And we've got a lot of free stuff. We want to get that out there.
Don't give away too much stuff for free. I mean,
Right.
put the good stuff out for free, but we want to drive people to because This is going to sound really weird. I don't even know if this is part of the podcast, but whatever. People have a perception of how good a quality something is by how much you charge for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nice to give away stuff for free to get your name out there, but the same stuff, the higher, it's the perception of the guest. Sorry, turned into coaching. It's a perception of the perception of the person that you're trying to sell to. If this is a high quality product, of course it's going to be a high price. It's going to be a high quality product, and kind of have that feeling, that kind of feeling when you're looking into pricing your product. It's nice to give away stuff for free to get out there, but at the same time, we still need to make a profit so we continue doing what we're doing. And we can't do it. We can't always do it for free.
That's very true. That's a tough thing to face too. Like we're talking about things to overcome. Pricing your offer.
Yeah, that can be a little rough, but you'll navigate through it, Brie. I got faith in you.
I will. It's uncharted waters, I guess, for us. So working on it.
That's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brie, this is the time. This is your time to shine. This is the time I want you to advertise yourself. How do we get a hold of all your free stuff and all that all that good stuff? Okay, ready, set, go.
Okay. On my blog/podcast, which is on Substack, there's tons of free stuff on there. I do have a paid subscriber section where I am putting a lot of my webinars and things like that. But that's at drbriannawilly.substack.com. I'll send that link too. And yeah, again, there's tons of free stuff. And actually, I offer free things and then I move them to the paid section. So as soon as I send it out, try to look at it if you want it for free. Yeah.
All right, Brie, thank you for being on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, getting across the start line. I really appreciate you taking your time today.
And thank you so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And we're going to definitely listen to your podcast. I'm going to get off right now and put it on my list of podcasts, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Make sure you stay tuned for the wrap up. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Brianne. What a great conversation. I love her energy. I love how she talks, and I love that she has her own podcast. So that's amazing, too. A couple of things actually that stick out that I kind of want to talk about, and that's embracing your fears and pushing beyond your comfort zone. Whether you're an introvert facing networking challenges or an entrepreneur confronting the unknown, remember, growth lies just outside that comfort zone. Always take that first step and watch your business soar. Getting out of the comfort zone is going to be the only way there's going to be movement happening in what you are trying to accomplish. So make sure that we're getting across the start line. And if you need help getting across the start line, reach out to people that you know that are willing to help, that know a little bit more than you do to be able to accomplish what you're trying to do. And the other thing too is, turning your struggles into strengths and your pitfalls into purpose. We all learn from these different types of struggles and pitfalls that we come across, and it really depends on what you do with those pitfalls, with those struggles that you have, whether you continue on forward or backward. Like Brianne's transforming her experiences with burnout into valuable insights for others. You can leverage those challenges and fuel your success and make lasting impact in your field. We all can learn something from this. So make sure that when you're going through your entrepreneur adventure, we are learning from those pitfalls. We are learning from those struggles, because we can only get better from there on out. All right, Skoop believers, thank you so much for another fantastic episode, and we will see you on the next episode of Undiscovered Entrepreneur, getting across the start line. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. And there you have it, future entrepreneurs. We've taken another step towards our journey to get across that start line. Remember, every great business starts with a single idea and the courage to pursue it. You've already shown that courage by joining us here today. As we wrap up this episode of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, I want to remind you that the start line isn't as far away as you might think. With each bit of knowledge you gain, each fear you face, you're getting closer to launching your dream. Until our next episode together, keep pushing, keep dreaming, and most importantly,
keep taking those steps across the start line. They'll all add up to big strides in your entrepreneur adventure. This is Skoop, your guide across the start line. Remember, your future is waiting. I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today.
Do you find yourself faltering when speaking in public? You definitely know what you're talking about, but you just can't seem to get over the horrific fear, and imagining people in their underwear is just not working. Whether you're gearing up for a big presentation or just looking to improve your daily communications, Leslie Fiorenzo is your go-to resource for mastering self-promotion, facing your audience fearlessly, and communicating with authority. Don't miss out on your opportunity to elevate your game. Contact Leslie Fiorenzo now, or go to tuepodcast.net/speak to step into the spotlight with confidence. Your adventure in public speaking mastery starts here and now. Don't wait to get your voice heard. Book your free consultation at tuepodcast.net/speak to start your adventure in speaking excellence today.